We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud.
Now at 7 o'clock, President Trump says mail-in voting has got to go. Others say they don't think so. Coming up, Oregon's Secretary of State responds to the president's claims of fraud.
Also this morning, millions of dollars in funding that was cut by the Trump administration in June is restored to the Beaverton School District. The teachers union says its members are breathing a sigh of relief. Plus,
what's your favorite thing about In-N-Out?
The burgers. Any burger. Literally anything.
Well, just over 24 hours from now, the state of Washington gets its first In-N-Out. It's coming to Ridgefield. They've got the burgers, they've got the fries, and now Ridgefield also has lots of traffic concerns over this. We'll have that story for you coming up right here in the 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise.
good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We've got Chris McGinnis, and we've got Rod Hill standing by with weather and traffic. Rod, we start with you.
Hey, good morning. We are really nice outside. We've had a mixed bag of cloudiness at the beach, our Schnuckwins Casino Resort camera. Some cloudiness, but I wouldn't call it dark, and it looks like it's going to be a nice day, partly sunny skies at times. Your high temperatures will be in the 60s right now. You're at 53. So far, we're basically clear inland, and here come the live cameras. Here's Salem. You can see the blue sky over our capital, 54. Very comfortable morning for the month of August. And here's Portland looking over the Moda Center and up I-5 to the north. 61 is the temperature out of PDX. So our day today, 73. 81, just a couple of degrees warmer than we have been. Enjoy it because our 7-day has growing confidence of a heat wave and temperatures nearing 100 as soon as Friday. More on that coming up. Here's Chris.
Yikes. All right, let's get you out the door. Thankfully, our drive in pretty good shape out there. A couple of slow spots. I-84 westbound. This is out near 82nd Avenue. There's a disabled vehicle just past this camera point. It's on the right-hand shoulder, adding to maybe some of the local slowing there. In fact, there it is, right there, right up against the median, I should say. Over on the west side, Highway 26, not bad there on that side of town. Right now, you're tripping from Hillsborough, averaging about 18 minutes. There's the drive that is slowing down right now near the Interstate Bridge, and we expect that for this hour of a Tuesday morning commute. 16 minutes now, get you in from Main Street south to I-405. Drew, China?
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 7 o'clock. It's back to school next week for thousands of kids and teachers in the area, including ones in the Beaverton School District.
So back in June, just as last school year was ending, the Trump administration froze $7 billion in school funding nationwide. But a month later, the Department of Education reversed course and released that money. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more on this story for us. So Thomas, that decision impacted a lot of local districts, including Beaverton.
Yeah, really local districts and areas all across the state, right, Drew and China? And it also left teachers tell me a lot of people scrambling and a lot of stress. Of course, when that funding was frozen, there was a lot of uncertainty of what to do next. As you might imagine, when it was restored, it led to a big sigh of relief for many teachers and administrators across the state. Now, Beaverton Teachers Union President Katie Lukens says $7 million is on the line here in Beaverton, and that money is key for the district. It supports after-school, summer programs, and English language instruction. Lukens says the cuts would have also cost Beaverton more than a dozen jobs.
When these things happen last minute, it causes chaos in districts, right? It causes people to scramble and try to fill and figure out what we can do to maintain services that students deserve and that they need.
I firmly believe that all of us.
In July, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield and 22 other state attorneys general sued to block the money freeze. Once the funds were released, Rayfield released a statement saying, in part, these funds keep critical programs running, from English language learning to school mental health services to summer learning programs. Now, statewide, Oregon schools have regained more than $73 million. $20 million of that funding goes to migrant education. Another $20 targets student achievement. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there in Beaverton this morning. Meanwhile, federal funding, also the focus of this story. Senator Ron Wyden visited Crater Lake this past weekend to see how funding cuts have impacted Oregon's only national park. The Trump administration eliminated thousands of park service jobs all across the country earlier this year. Senator Wyden says he's working on strategies to support the park's current staff at Crater Lake and also to keep the visitor experience strong.
We're not just going to sit idly by while there is this jewel heist, because what I believe it's doing is weakening the commitment, the national commitment to Crater Lake and to all of our national parks.
Crater Lake has an interim superintendent after former superintendent Kevin Heatley resigned just 5 months into the job. So the search for a permanent replacement continues while the park says it's dealing with staff shortages.
We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots.
As you just heard there, President Donald Trump says his administration is looking to eliminate vote by mail. Now, vote by mail is the way that most people in Oregon and Washington vote, with local leaders saying it's extremely secure and local voters knowing about safeguards. But at a conference yesterday, President Trump said vote by mail is fraudulent and provides slower results compared to paper ballots. But Oregon Secretary of State Tobias Reed says all those statements are false and that states have jurisdiction over elections, not federal government.
President Trump is pretty clearly actively working to corrupt our elections. If he actually understood or cared about American people, he would know that mail-in voting is the best way to protect everyone's right to vote.
Yeah, President Donald Trump also said, though, that vote by mail is more expensive. Secretary of State Reed says voting by mail in Oregon is less expensive than votes that require people to show up at a specific time and place.
Oregon is also joining 19 other states in another lawsuit against the Trump administration. Oregon's Attorney General says this suit takes aim at the administration's attempts to block federal funding meant for crime victims and survivors. The Trump administration has threatened to withhold roughly $15 million in grants for organizations in Oregon as a form of punishment for the state's sanctuary status. The Sexual Assault Resource Center in Washington County told us they put an emergency pause on their services because of the uncertainty surrounding federal funding.
So right now in Washington County, there isn't a direct service provider for folks who have experienced sexual violence.
The federal administration is trying to use victims of crime as a political tool to carry out an incredibly unpopular political agenda.
Attorney General Dan Rayfield is asking the Oregon legislature for about $3 million to help fill the gap while this lawsuit plays out.
The state of Washington is under a deadline to end its sanctuary policies. The Department of Justice sent letters to the governor and mayor of Seattle, giving them until today to respond. The letters warn that the state and city policies may be obstructing federal law. The DOJ is threatening investigations, civil or criminal actions, and the loss of federal funding. Seattle's mayor says that those threats won't change how the city protects its immigrant communities.
Refugees see this as a threat, and so I look at it as a threat to my community here, all of our communities. And so that's what a mayor does. The mayor strategizes, make sure that he or she could use the court system to their benefit, and they make sure they protect their community. That's what we're going to do.
Today, Seattle's mayor is expected to join Governor Bob Ferguson and other state leaders for a press conference about this in Olympia.
All right, this is a pretty wild story. The Federal Trade Commission is suing the ticket broker Key Investment Group, alleging it used illegal tactics to exceed purchasing limits for popular events and then resold tickets at a much higher price. The lawsuit claims the group used thousands of fake Ticketmaster accounts and other methods to buy tickets for events including Taylor Swift's big world tour. The FTC says the group spent nearly $7 million on tickets between November of 2022 and December of 2023, and then turned around and sold those tickets for about $64 million, from $7 million to $64 million.
In the meantime, what would you do with $643 million? That's the current estimated Powerball jackpot after no one won last night. The cash value of the jackpot is just under $291 million. And in case you were curious if you came close, you probably weren't, but here's a look at last night's numbers. 15, 46, 61, 63, 64, and the Powerball is 1. The next drawing is tomorrow.
So, Rod, you play this game more often than China and I do.
I had a ticket last night. My ticket is at home. And I've just learned, thanks to you guys, I didn't win. Thanks for nothing.
How many numbers do you have to get right to win a decent amount of money? Because there's other prizes too, like $1,000.
Yeah, so actually the ticket I bought a week ago, I bought 2 lines. They're $2 per line. So I spent $4. I got the Powerball number right on each of them, which paid $4 on each line for the Powerball, so my $4 became $8.
Yeah, look at this guy. That's why he's wearing the fancy new tie.
That's correct. And sadly, that was one of the biggest winnings of my entire life. All right, here's Tillamook Ed this morning. We've been talking about clouds down on Lincoln City from our Snookwinds Casino Resort camera. This is the north coast. Seaside, of course, sits right there. And this is the camera up at Gearhart by the Sea Resort looking down. But I wanted to show you there is some sun at the beach. Kind of depends on where you are. There's a cloud band kind of nipping near shore. So today, kind of partly sunny at times. Inland, we're starting off clear. Here's Mount Hood. Temperature up there, 46 degrees at 6,000 feet. Beautiful day up in the Cascades, and a nice sunny morning out in the Oregon Veterans Home camera from the Dalles, looking at the dam and the Columbia River. 59, not much of any wind this morning. Winds this afternoon are expected to be westerly, about 10 to 20. So that's just kind of a typical gentle breeze for you folks. You'll be up into the mid-80s, it appears. And here's the Rose City. We're looking over the Moda Center, and we are mainly clear, and we're 61. Still seeing a lot of you in the 50s. In fact, Forest Grove is parked right at 50 degrees. Good morning to you. 47 in West Lynn, 57 in West Lynn, 58 out in Happy Valley. Estacada is at 51. McMinnville and Dallas are at 50. And Corvallis, hello Beavers, you're now down to 48 degrees for a temperature. All right, our map today is a dry one, and nobody gets hot by local standards. We're talking holding in the 80s, not reaching 90 out east, 85 in Madras, about 80 up and down I-5, and generally holding in the 60s at the coast today. Again, there's some cloudiness that'll be coming inland during the day, but it looks like it'll be partly cloudy at most. So a nice day. 81 in Portland, 83 tomorrow. Then we start to heat up, 88 Thursday, and in red, here's our next heat wave. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and especially Friday and Saturday, temperatures nearing 100 degrees. Chris, you've been reminding all of us that that's hood to coast relay time. You say we've run in these conditions before.
Yeah, close to it. The hottest one I remember was 2016, 92, 93 degrees. So 98's really pushing it for runners that are going through downtown Portland during the peak heat of the Friday afternoon commute, etc. So yeah, something to keep our eyes on for sure. Gladstone to West Lynn, I'm watching that drive right now. That's one of our slow spots, southbound 205. Puttering along at about 30 miles an hour over the Abernathy Bridge. That's not all that unusual for this hour of a Tuesday morning commute. Northbound I-5 starting to bunch up a little bit in the Wilsonville area, but still not bad there. And of course at the Sylvan Hill, I mean, you can kind of see how the sun is right in the driver's eye here as those eastbound commuters climb up the hill towards Skyline Boulevard. Right now, 18 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough. Quick check of the trip out of Clark County. It's busy, but moving from SR 500. 20 minutes now gets you into the Fremont Bridge from Main Street. And if you're heading northbound out of Clark County and into Cowlitz County, know this, WashDOT doing some bridge inspection on the East Fork Lewis River Bridge. No delays right now, but the northbound left lane will be closed through 10 o'clock. So as traffic picks up, that might become a bit of a slow spot here later on this morning. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris.
I think it's great. I think the community wants it, but I think traffic here is going to be crazy.
With In-N-Out set to open its Ridgefield location tomorrow morning, some residents are concerned over traffic that the restaurant will cause. After the break, we'll take a look at the plans in place to make sure that your burger doesn't cause a backup. And when you're here, your family, especially if you can get unlimited pasta for under $14. That's right, Olive Garden bringing back that never-ending pasta bowl, but it's only for a limited time. How long you have to snag that deal coming up in your morning rush.
Want to let you know about the KGW School Supply Drive now in its final 10 days. So some of the most needed supplies are the very basic ones, the pencils, the paper, the markers. You can drop off supplies at any On Point Community Credit Union branch, any Rick's Custom Fencing location, or any one of our other community partners. We have tons of them, including Rose City Physical Therapy. A shout out to them this morning. Also, this week, Windermere Real Estate is matching the first $5,000 donated to the drive, so it's another great week to give. A very big thank you to Rick's Custom Fencing, On Point Community Credit Union, and Safeway for everything they're doing to make this year's drive a success.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
If you live in Clark County or anywhere in Southwest Washington, you may have heard the state of Washington's first In-N-Out is going to open up its doors tomorrow morning.
Celine Stevens went to Ridgefield to see how people are feeling about the fast food giant and the traffic trouble that could cause.
I love In-N-Out, and we don't have one like super near, so I'm very excited.
I will go every day if I could.
I think it's great. I think the community wants it, but I think traffic here is going to be crazy.
In-N-Out opening its doors for the first time in Washington State at 10:30 Wednesday morning.
If I knew that it was going to be this close and opening, I'd be wearing an In-N-Out shirt today.
Well, I'm sure that In-N-Out definitely has now put Ridgefield on the map for Washington, so more people will know that Ridgefield's here.
But with more attention comes worries about more traffic.
There's going to be wall to wall. It's going to be nonstop. Every one of these parking lots will fill up.
But I enjoy sneaking into this Costco and out, and I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Though there is a plan. Ridgefield police say their officers, along with Washington State Patrol, will be on site opening day and the days after to watch traffic. If it backs up to Discovery Drive, people will be rerouted.
I think it's something that needs to happen because it can get out of control. I remember when the Kaiser one opened and it was backed up onto the freeway, and yeah, so I think police present will be a good thing.
In-N-Out also having additional space for the line opening week.
In-N-Out has arranged for a lot that has enough room for 2.5 miles of cars on it. So they are definitely doing their best to make it to be the best possible situation.
Now all that's left is to get in line and wait.
But what's your favorite thing about In-N-Out?
The burgers. Any burger. Literally anything.
Thrilled to death. They got to go further north.
Ridgefield police say that camping is not allowed, so trying to save your place in line the night before is not a good idea. Also, with nearby construction going on, they're just asking people to practice patience. In Ridgefield, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
I know we've gone down this road before. I do feel like you are the In-N-Out expert amongst the crew. So there's a lot of other people watching who have never had In-N-Out. They've never done an order there.
Yeah.
Standard order. What do you recommend someone gets their first time through?
Cheeseburger or a burger. Hold on.
Okay.
Stroking out.
Never mind.
Cheeseburger or a burger. Wow, I couldn't get that out. Just want to make.
You get very emotional around the In-N-Out stories. I know.
I do.
Cheeseburger or burger. Okay, got that.
If you like onions, they do it grilled or normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then fries, they have animal fries, which they do cheese and then Thousand Island and then grilled onions.
Okay.
You can also do fry light, where they don't fry it as long, and so it's a little bit more on the raw side. They do, I forget the other one, where they cook it more so they're all crispy.
Huh. Okay.
Anything else?
And the animal fries is not on the menu, is that right?
Animal fries is not on the menu.
You got to know that.
Yeah.
And now we know.
And now you know.
Because
They
you just
also
told me.
have animal style burger where that's when they do the fried onions. And then I think they do the bun a little bit longer and then extra tomatoes.
toasted
And they
bun.
put pickles on that one. Yeah.
I feel like the person you have in the middle panel of this graphic you're about to show us, we could probably get to it now for weather. I feel like the middle person is China at the front door of In-N-Out, basically thanking them for opening up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm picturing that right
Yes.
now, actually.
Thank you for being open.
Okay. Weekend heat wave. Now we got to get serious for a bit. This looks like it will be at least as hot overall as the last one that produced temperatures, at least for 2 days, I'm just going off my memory, at least for 2 days, it was 101, 102 in Salem. Portland hit 99 3 days in a row. We're going to be right up in that same category Friday through at least Sunday. There's some question right now in terms of could we at least hit 90 for a fourth day into Monday? Some of the models say yes, others say no. But clearly, we're going to be up to around 100 degrees, at least for a couple days, it looks like, Friday and Saturday. So heat exhaustion certainly comes into play if you're outdoors in the heat and you're not staying hydrated or quite simply doing too much in the hot hours of the day. Water, shade, AC, all something you need to start thinking about. and planning your weekend accordingly. Now, we have the Hood to Coast Relay that starts Friday morning up at Timberline, and then, of course, that ends Saturday in the Seaside. So I'm sure they're trying to orchestrate how they're going to keep their runners hydrated and safe during the run. Okay, here's what we're looking at today. Today's fantastic. We're going to be comfortable again. This low, the one that has been on the map for several days, is weakening. It's moving up to north. This is the last day we'll see it. The only impact it has on us today is a stretch of cloudiness that even around Astoria is somewhat thin. These clouds will thin and brush inland, so that's all I got. Otherwise, it's just a beautiful sunny day that will be partly cloudy at times eventually as that cloud band starts to push, especially from Portland up to the north. Right now, though, you can see it's mainly clear. It's a gorgeous start from the Pioneer Park building looking over the square and the Pioneer Courthouse. 61 is our temperature out at the river, along the river at PDX. We're in the mid-50s in Salem and Kelso. It's nice up in Seattle, 60 degrees. We have partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy along the coast. It's kind of varied right now. 54 in Bend, clear. 55 out in John Day, clear. Futurecast, that cloud band, this is 5 o'clock this afternoon. Doesn't do much. It does show some thickening clouds during the day near Tillamook up to Astoria and perhaps into Kelso, Longview. Could there be clouds over the In-N-Out location? All right, coast forecast for today. Temperatures 60s to about 70. Kind of a partly sunny to increasing cloudiness day, especially up on the north coast. Valley forecast numbers, low 80s. Still considered very pleasant for this time of the year. Closer to 80, 81 up in southwest Washington. I've got Portland 81, 83. Thursdays today we start to noticeably heat up, 88. And in red, our KGW impact alert for the next heat wave, 98, 98, 94, 88 on Monday. Chris, are they looking, do you think, to add some sort of hydration stations for the Hood to Coast Relay? Or how would they handle
It's a good question. I mean, most runners usually are prepared for warmish weather, but if you're pushing 100 degrees and you're running on that hot asphalt coming out of government camp, I mean, that does bring up some questions. So for sure, I'm sure we'll hear from them coming up over the next couple of days, right? Projects and closures, we've talked about the Highway 26 bump. That's getting some much needed love. The Rocky Point Road closure, of course, that is for a month. That kicked in yesterday. Let's talk about this. The steel bridge inspections continue. ODOT does this every 2 years on Oregon's bridges. It's the steel bridges' turn this week. And so throughout the week, they'll close one direction at a time with detours over the Broadway and the Burnside Bridge. This will also have some limited impacts on TriMet service as well. Quick check of your freeway drive this morning. Nothing's way out of whack. Let's zoom in down into the Gladstone area, 205 southbound. Puttering along a bit from Gladstone down to Oregon City and then over the Abernathy Bridge and into West Lynn. Again, this is pretty typical for this hour of a Tuesday morning drive. Right now, your trip from Wilsonville, northbound I-5, taking about 25 minutes to get you into downtown. And your trip from Clark County, 205 looks good. I-5 a little slow right now. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Let's take a quick look at some national headlines with your morning rush. Starting Friday, the Department of Justice says it will begin providing Congress with documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. This comes after Representative James Comer issued a subpoena demanding the U.S. Attorney General produce documents related to Epstein for his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. The woman known as the ketamine queen faces a maximum of sentence, that is, of 65 years in prison after agreeing to plead guilty to federal drug charges in connection to the death of actor Matthew Perry. And one last story for you here. Starting next week, Olive Garden bringing back its never-ending pasta bowl for $13.99. Olive Garden says this promotion will last through November 16th, and that is a look at your morning rush. More Sunrise, the 7:30 half hour, comes your way in 3 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We're coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning drive. I've got 4 cameras to look at. Most of them are not moving all that badly, but let me show you south of town right now. I-5 northbound, something's hanging up the drive coming out of the Terwilliger curves, and it may very well be the sun glare. You can see the sun's right in the driver's face there. From there up to the Markham Bridge, we're running a little thick. Total drive-in from Wilsonville has ticked up to nearly 30 minutes now. Inbound Sunset about 22 minutes from Hillsborough, and the drive from Clark County slow and steady over the Interstate Bridge. Rod, 22 minutes gets you in from Main Street.
All of a sudden, I'm embarrassed because I only have 1 camera to show you. Here it is. All right, Chris, we're showing you 4. Here's the Rose City camera. We are beautiful this morning. We've got a mixed bag of cloudiness at the beach, but we're mainly clear inland. And this will be another day that holds in the comfortable category for August. 61 right now, mostly sunny at noon, 73. Might see some increase of passing mid to high level clouds later today. I've got us at 81. We've only been generally in the mid to upper 70s the last handful of days, so a little bit warmer. Thursday, 88 as we start to turn up the heat, and in red, there's our next heat wave, 98 Friday. The same on Saturday, 94 on Sunday.
Good morning. We are taking a live look from our Chehalem Tasting Room Skycam in Sherwood. It is sure beautiful out there in Sherwood. Got the sun up there. Is something funny, Rod?
Well, a little country, I think, is coming out.
I do.
Talking about the
And
good
a play
folks
on
out in
words.
Sherwood.
Yeah, when I'm happy, I get a little country.
What's making you happy, I ask?
I slept well. Doesn't usually happen on this shift.
Oh,
Nope.
Co-workers was the #1 answer on the board. Sorry. Hey, you're close, though. You're close. It is the 7:30 half-hour sunrise, correct? It's a Tuesday morning.
You would know this if you got really good sleep.
Correct. Nice today, getting hotter later. What's the details, Rod?
All right, here we go. Let's get you out the door this morning. We'll start with our Schnuckwins Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. This has generally been mostly cloudy, but they're thin, and there's some brightness over the Pacific waves coming in. 54 degrees. You folks will be dry. You'll be up into the 60s today. There's some cloudiness near shore, and that cloud band expected to just kind of break up, so partly sunny at times. Portland, it's a sunny morning. We're at 61. We may see some increase in cloudiness this afternoon, but even that would still be partly cloudy. So really a nice day. We're not watching much. 73 at noon. High temperature 81. I mean, it's August. That's still pretty nice. Here's Chris.
Comfortable stuff, especially when you see the 7 days. Stick around for that or not. No, please do. I-5 traffic northbound into the sun glare coming out of the Twilliger curve seems to be running a little thick there. Let's zoom in real quick. And that is maybe my only explanation at this point as to why it's a little extra busy there. We'll take you farther north in the drive up past Macadam. The Macadam exit there over in the right-hand or left-hand part of your screen, by the way, I should say. Running a little thick. The trip from Wilsonville now approaching 30 minutes. I-84 westbound, about 25 minutes to get you in from Troutdale. And the trip from Clark County, of course, slow and steady over the interstate bridge. By the way, heading northbound out of Clark County today, WashDOT doing some bridge inspection on the the East Fork Lewis River Bridge. The northbound left lane closed until 10 o'clock. Not seeing any local slowing around that right now, but just be aware that that could be a pinch point a little bit later on this morning, guys.
Well, Chris, our next news headline here is one you're familiar with. Highway 26 heading to the coast features a rough driving spot that has simply become known as
the bump.
But construction started yesterday to fix
the bump. So ODOT crews will be out fixing
the bump
from 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays. KGW's Catherine Cook brings us more on the
bump.
No one loves road work. However, this repair job over on Highway 26 near Seaside just might be the exception.
Yeah, you need to go slower than 25.
Drivers likely relieved to see ODOT crews finally fixing the bump, as they've dubbed it. But let's be real.
Basically, it's like a Dukes of Hazzard launch, right?
It was, yes. There were a lot of people reporting that they caught air.
ODOT's Mindy McCart gets it. This spot on milepost 13 is bad and blamed for several car crashes. The reason? Transportation officials say years of water buildup in the soil, causing what they call an upside-down slide.
So instead of the typical sinking, the pavement is actually being pushed upwards by all of the groundwater pressure.
Back in March, the road got so bad, ODOT had to remove 100 feet of asphalt across all 4 lanes. They covered it in gravel and lowered the speed limit to 25 miles an hour, just one of several temporary fixes. ODOT hopes this will be a permanent solution. They started the month-long repair job on Monday.
So we are going to be installing 9 different perforated drain pipes under all 4 lanes, plus digging new roadside ditches. And this is to drain that groundwater away from the road. Then we'll repave and stripe and get drivers a smoother, safer ride.
For now, there will be flaggers, cones, and equipment moving in and out of the work zone and traffic down to 1 lane in each direction, Monday through Thursday.
The biggest help that drivers can do right now for us is slow down.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
A grand jury has indicted a man on new charges in connection with a kidnapping in Salem. 48-year-old Elijah Arce is facing an additional kidnapping charge along with attempted rape. Investigators say he lured an 11-year-old from her front yard earlier this month. Authorities found that the pair less than a quarter mile away with the girl physically unharmed. Arce is being held without bail and is scheduled to be back in court next week.
The driver accused in a deadly crash that killed a Southern Oregon softball team's coach and one of its players pleaded guilty to unspecified charges. Jonathan Dowdy faces a slew of charges, including 2 counts of manslaughter and assault. In April, authorities say he was driving with a suspended license when he drove head-on into a bus carrying the Umpqua Community College softball team over on Highway 42. 45-year-old Jamie Strins and 19-year-old Kylie Jones died. Dowdy's sentencing is set for next month. Meanwhile, the off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to cut a plane's engines off mid-flight has also agreed to a plea deal. Joseph Emerson is facing federal charges, and court records indicate that he'll appear in court here in Portland for a change of plea hearing in 2 weeks. Emerson's alleged actions forced a flight heading to San Francisco to make an emergency landing in Portland. His lawyers say he was taking psychedelic mushrooms at the time.
Portland Fire and Rescue officially has a new chief. Chief Lauren Johnson was formerly the assistant chief in Dallas, Texas, and a career firefighter.
I'll tell you, the thing that hooked me for Portland was one of their current chiefs made a post on LinkedIn that said they were looking for a fire chief, and they've got great people. And my first thought was, I want to work there.
Johnson says her first priority is building trust with the nearly 750 fire personnel that she'll now oversee.
Don't be a dumb girl. That's what I was repeatedly told by my dad, my brothers, and even my mom.
That is the voice of Heidi Human. You see her right there, a local gun violence prevention advocate, documentary filmmaker, and author, talking about her new memoir called Dumb Girl, a journey from childhood abuse to gun control advocacy. Human says she dealt with physical, emotional, and sexual abuse growing up, but now she's opening up about it.
I think it's important to talk about it because that's what breaks the shame, and that's what breaks the cycle. When we live in shame, then we can't prosper and we can't thrive. And so we've got to talk about it.
We'll have more coverage of Heidi's story next month in our Talk About It series. First, though, tonight, KGW evening anchor David Molko will moderate an in-person conversation with Heidi at her book launch. It's happening at 7 o'clock at Powell's West Burnside location.
The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is warning people to avoid harvesting or eating soft shell and bay clams from the Alsea Bay estuary. The advisory comes after officials say Lincoln County's Ekman Lake tested high for a type of toxin that causes paralytic shellfish poisoning. That lake drains directly into the bay. Agriculture officials will now test clams from the estuary with results expected sometime next week.
All right, before we get to Rod, talking about his favorite topic, that is food. We're about a month away from fall at this point, which some consider soup season. So here's the story. Campbell's Chunky Soup is collaborating with Pabst Blue Ribbon to release 2 new beer-flavored soups. One is beer cheese with potatoes and chorizo. The other is beef bacon and beer chili with beans. Beef, bacon, beer chili with beans. It's going to go down nicely. I don't know what's going to happen from there, but it's going to go down nicely.
The sodium content has to be unreal.
We've done a lot of...
I didn't know this. Is there a lot of salt in beer? Is that the deal?
There's a lot of salt in soup, canned soup.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of salt.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, we've been doing a lot of jingles this morning. I feel like product jingles. Rod, can you finish this one? Turn up the Campbell's. Soup is...
Life.
All I can think of is the good. They used to do the good.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, that.
Good. That's what Campbell's soups are. Good.
That one I remember.
Yeah. Turn up the Campbell's. Soup is good food. Was what I was looking for there.
Yeah.
It's too much time on soup. I understand. Let's get to the weather.
We are your soup station, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All inland areas reporting sun. There's no marine push this morning. And if there is a marine push, that's often at least up into Cowlitz County. But nope, that's a beautiful sunny start. Three Rivers Golf Course with the shadows on it. Beautiful day up in Kelso, Longview area. People are ready to have a great day working or playing. It's going to be comfortable again today. We're generally in the 60s most of the morning, just up to about 70 at noon, and then we'll be warming up to about 80. Not bad for August. Here's sunny skies over I-5 looking north in the Convention Center and the Moda Center. Temperatures, most of you still in the 50s. 59 now in Happy Valley. Westland's just up to 60 degrees. We are starting our warm up at 7:39 in the morning. 54 out in Dallas. Corvallis was in the 40s, now reporting 51 degrees. I mentioned mostly 60s during the morning hour. This shows us 72 at noon. And then 77 to 2 o'clock. I think we will hit 80 today. Something PDX has not done all of a sudden in a handful of days. We stopped in the upper 70s again yesterday. Here's Teddy. I love the glasses. They're a very fun picture. Dog of the day at kgw.com. Use that email address. Just send us the photo. Your dog's name. Your dog will become our dog of the day. There is Teddy this morning. All right. Our weather map is a dry one. And happy to tell you, nobody's going to be considered hot. You folks out east will hold in the 80s. That's very nice weather for you this time of the year. 85 in Madras, about the same in the Dalles. Winds in the gorge this morning are light. The breezes will be westerly this afternoon. We've got low 80s from Portland down to Eugene and generally 60s at the coast. There is a band of kind of thin cloudiness offshore that might be just coming in a little bit. So mostly sunny to partly cloudy today. Really nice. 81 today, 83 tomorrow. Thursday's day one of starting to notice the return of hot weather, 88. And then in red, just like that, we will be near 100 on Friday, near 100 on Saturday, still well up into the 90s on Sunday. The red is our impact alert for what will be our next heat wave. And again, it looks like day one is Friday. Here's Chris.
It's hot stuff, Rod. All right, let's get you back up into, well, Highway 26 right now. Just getting word, actually, as we go up onto the mountain. ODOT's actually reporting a vehicle fire just west of Government Camp. And at this moment, ODOT reporting that eastbound lanes are blocked. I'll keep you posted on that. No other details to share at this moment, but stand by. Let's get you back to the freeway drive. We just had a stalled out car cleared from southbound I-5. That is the reason the southbound commute's been running a little thick there. That's out of the way now. Northbound I-5 running a little heavy, of course, through Tualatin. Here's a quick look at your drive times. 34 minutes now gets you in from Wilsonville, 26 minutes from Troutdale. And the Highway 26 commute also starting to bunch up as drivers stare into that rising sun coming up towards the Sylvan Hill. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up next on Sunrise, have you ever seen this? The viral video known as
What?
Skibbity Toilet?
Skibbity?
Did I say that right?
Skibbity doo dah, skibbity yay.
Skibbity, that is demonic. And its name is behind one of the 6,000 new words added to the Cambridge Dictionary. We'll explain after this.
Skibbity.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, have you ever heard of the words Delulu, Skibbity, or Tradwife? I've heard of two of the three.
Which two have you heard of?
Delulu and Tradwife.
Can you use Delulu in a sentence?
Yeah, you think you're the best anchor of all time, which makes you Delulu.
Delusional?
There you go.
Oh, wow.
And then Tradwife.
I don't have any.
Traditional wife, like traditional gender roles and cleaning and taking care of the baby. Tradwife.
It's a good thing you're here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You seem to know all.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Is there more to the story?
Yes.
Do you know the rest of the story?
I do. Some of the words, like Delulu, Tradwife, among other things, they've been added to the Cambridge Dictionary.
Which dictionary?
Cambridge. NBC's Adrian Vados gives us a look at what they mean.
It is that time of year again when the most prominent trends taking over the internet and the slang that comes along with them get immortalized in the annals of the Cambridge Dictionary. Skibbity, Tradwife, Delulu, just a few of more than 6,000 words added this year, the hottest due to their popularity online.
Who made that choice? How do I teach it?
Which is exactly where the announcement is sparking some backlash. One user saying, quote, "This has got to be a joke." It's not. with the lexical program manager at Cambridge Dictionary saying in part, internet culture is changing the English language. The effect is fascinating to observe and capture in the dictionary. For example, the word tradwife circulating on Instagram and TikTok. It's short for traditional wife and refers to a married woman who follows more stereotypical gender roles, like staying home to cook and caring for children, but who also posts about this lifestyle on social media. Hallie Jackson now covering the trend in May of last year as it was taking off.
I consider myself a traditional wife.
But the new words aren't just describing women. Take broligarchy, a combo of the words bro and oligarchy, used to describe the lineup of rich, powerful leaders in tech seeking some kind of political influence, emerging after many appeared at the inauguration of President Trump in January. Perhaps the biggest head scratcher, Skibbity. Made popular by the creator of an animated YouTube series called Skibbity Toilet. Then used mainly to mean something is cool or bad, or as the dictionary puts it, quote, can be used with no real meaning as a joke.
If anything, it's closer to what we call a non-lexical vocable, which is a random musical noise composed of a cluster of pseudo-syllables like la, 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 la.
The dictionary pointing out it's popular with Gen Alpha, people born in the 2010s, another new word. And if you think the Cambridge Dictionary is just delusional, well, maybe they're just delulu. Are you delulu? The new version meaning to believe things aren't real because, quote, you choose to see it that way. The Australian Prime Minister not afraid to use this slang to describe his opponents earlier this year.
They are delulu with no salulu, Mr. Speaker.
The words, a sign of the times, now officially marked, even if their time in the spotlight may be brief. Adrienne Broaddus, NBC News.
Why are you delulu? See? Proof's in the pudding.
Do you know what delulu means?
Yeah, delusional.
There you go. Do you know what tradwife means?
Actually, I think my beautiful wife, Grayson, would consider herself a traditional wife. Here's what I don't get. Where do we become so busy or lazy, I think lazy is the best way to put it myself, that we can't say full words anymore? This big push over the last decade, everything has to be abbreviated.
Yeah. We're lazy.
Drives me a little nuts, actually.
We're lazy as a society.
I think that's where that comes from?
Yeah. Personally, I don't like saying meteorologist. That's a tough one to spit out. So I go with what?
Met.
Or you can say Met.
Say?
Meteorologists refer to themselves in the industry as Mets, generally speaking.
All right.
Yeah. Or cool works too. Hey, cool. That works.
I got a better one.
Yes, what do you got?
Don't say it. No, moving on. Let's go.
Do it. What do you got?
Don't say it if it's. Is it derogatory?
Handsome.
Oh, please, it was China's mic open for that. All right, here's Aaron. Obviously, a big scare as it moved up, and for good reason, through Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and Haiti to a lesser degree. And there's the island, the Turk Islands and Caicos Islands. Here are the Bahamas. But overall, this is starting to turn more and more up into open water. There is Bermuda, which could be under the gun big time. Right now, it's weakened, a Category 2 hurricane, sustained winds around the eye wall, 110 miles per hour. The track still takes this between the island of Bermuda and the U.S. mainland as it goes north and then bends up into colder waters. It turns back to the northeast. So if this track is correct, the U.S. would basically have concerns, for the most part, limited to high surf and beach erosion and that type of thing. Bermuda, though, a good chance of being under a hurricane warning in the coming days, as that, when you're on the front side or the east side of these storms, that's where you can get the worst of the wind, the worst of the surf, the worst of the rain, the worst of everything. Okay, here we are. We have mainly clear skies inland. We have some cloudiness from a weakening cloud band over western Washington. So far, not much of that cloud cover being reported along our coast, although we have kind of a mixed bag of partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies there. Inland, though, you can see in Oregon, we're basically clear. Here's our state capital this morning, 54 degrees. Beautiful morning. At the Oregon Zoo, it's going to be another comfortable day up in the West Hills to be out enjoying the animals. 60 degrees is the current temperature. And the reptiles and everything that they have. 54 in Astoria. Again, a mixed bag of some cloudiness at the beaches this morning. Newport's 55. But it's clear in Portland. It's clear out in the Dalles, 59. It's clear out in Baker City, 54. Futurecast just shows that one cloud band that I mentioned, kind of toying with us at times. The best chance to just become overcast from that cloud band. This shows is Astoria, this afternoon, and to a lesser degree, maybe up into the Longview-Kelso area. Otherwise, it's probably just going to end up being a mostly sunny day. I've got mostly sunny to partly cloudy, 83 in Salem. Winds are on the light side. Southwest Washington, again, you might noticeably cloud over at some point this afternoon up in Longview. We've got you hitting 80 degrees. Battleground in Vancouver, 81. Portland would be the first day in several that we've gotten up to 81. Still really nice for August. Tomorrow, similar, 83. This is the dry 7-day, and a 7-day that becomes hot. 88 Thursday. And then high confidence at this point that we'll have another heat wave of a good 3 days or maybe longer. Right now I've got 98 or maybe 100 on Friday and Saturday and 94 on Sunday. The cooler models take us to 88 on Monday, but other models say we could be in the 90s on Monday and even Tuesday of next week. And that is your update for now. Here's Chris.
Be interesting to see if we hit that elusive 100, right? All right, let's go ahead and pick up the drive in Clark County. There's your I-5 southbound commute. It is now backing up past SR 500, and not that that's all that unusual, but to let you know, we are in a full swing of things right now for the southbound I-5 drive now, puttering along at about 12 miles an hour from there down to the Interstate Bridge. Total drive from Main Street to the Fremont has now jumped up significantly, about 31 minutes or so crossing the Columbia on that side of town. I-5 from Wilsonville, your northbound commute, not bad. Inbound Sunset, definitely thick at the Sylvan Hill. The drive, the sun right in the driver's eye. So that's one of our other slow commutes, especially inside of Murray Boulevard. Right now, 31 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Drew, China?
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, with kids heading back to school starting next week around the area and most of their schoolwork, like 99.9% of it, being done in front of a screen these days, we're asking this question. How much screen time is too much screen time? We're going to verify that question for you after the break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Going back to school used to mean less screen time for students, right? Way back in the day. But since iPads and computers are such a big part of school and homework now, that's no longer the case.
Did they have screens when you went to school? No, I mean like in the classroom.
You're on your own. Enjoy.
Verifies Mick and Bragg has more on how much screen time is too much for kids. Oh, come on.
Your kids will likely be spending more time on their iPads and laptops working on homework projects and school assignments. But how much screen time is too much screen time? Let's verify. Our sources, the Mayo Clinic, Dr. Gina Robinson with the Cleveland Clinic, and the American Academy of Pediatrics. Robinson says it is important to set a screen time limit for your kids, especially during the school year.
2 hours of recreational screen time is what we like to aim for. That is more realistic in some households than others, but we really try to at least set some kind of limits beforehand.
A study from the Mayo Clinic shows too much screen time and regular exposure to poor quality programming has been linked to obesity, inadequate sleep schedules and insufficient sleep, behavior problems, delays in language and social skills development, and violence. If you've been more relaxed with screen time over the summer, Robinson says it's a good idea to have a conversation about it now instead of waiting later into the school year. She says instead of taking away all recreational screen time, try turning it into a family activity.
Making it special so that maybe you watch movies together on Friday nights and that's how you use your screen time, and you maybe go outside and set up a projector screen, or you get popcorn, or you do something just to make it a little bit more special and a little bit more of a family activity.
Now, Robinson says if you want your kids off their phones and tablets, you need to lead by example. So make sure you're taking breaks from your phone as well. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
And coming up at 8, a sigh of relief at the Beaverton School District after millions of dollars of funding cuts are restored, where the money is set to go and how it's being used to help students.
Also coming up at 8 o'clock, we're talking about Hurricane Erin. It has some residents on North Carolina's Outer Banks on high alert. Rod Hill will have more on this. The 8 o'clock hour, sunrise, starts in 3 minutes.